Let's move on to our new power rankings for week number 7,
Eight.
8, week 8. I scrolled up to see our picks and it said week 7, so I'm a
I know.
dummy.
I didn't change it. That's
No, it's
fine.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's on our
Starting
PRP.
off with my number 1 team.
Shockingly.
They're 6-0. Sure. They're the number 1 team, I guess. Can't not move them. I mean, they keep winning somehow. So
the reason they keep winning
flowers.
and the reason they're number 1 for me as well is because they have arguably the best defense in the league, or one of the best defenses in the league, especially in the fourth quarter. Statistically, they're very good.
I agree.
Well coached defense. Obviously, we've talked about that front four, especially led by Jones and the boys. They're kind of a handful for a lot of teams. So
yeah,
I got Kansas City. They don't move for me. So
I actually had the Vikings in the number 1 spot last week, and the Chiefs were at 2. So the Vikings dropped a little bit for me after losing.
yeah.
They dropped a couple spots here because my Ravens are the second best team in the NFL. That's for sure. I'm not putting an NFC team above the Ravens. They don't lose to the NFC.
That's actually a good point. I have Detroit. My first 4 is almost the exact same. The only thing that changes is Detroit and Minnesota flip for me. I had Minnesota last week at 2. They moved to 3. I have Detroit in at 2 now. Obviously, a big win against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings on the road. They improved to 5-1. And I'm not sure if I will like a coach that's not a Steelers coach more than Dan Campbell. I literally want to be a Lion. Like, I just want to be in the locker room and listen to what he's saying.
That is facts. The Lions for me coming at 3 after the big win against the Vikings. They move up a spot for me to the number 3 spot in my top 10.
Yeah, just a good team.
Yeah,
good team. I have, like I said, Minnesota at 5-1 at number 3. They fall 1 spot. Still a good team. That's a game that can go either way. A division game. I mean, both of 2 of the best teams in the NFL. I'm happy we get to see that matchup again in a couple weeks. So yeah, they moved to 3.
Vikings moved down to 4 for me, right under the Lions. I mean, that division is kind of insane right now.
Yeah.
But I got the Vikings at 4.
Yeah, I have your Baltimore Ravens at 4. They didn't move last week from last week. It's just these 4 teams are really 2 through 3 for me. Detroit, Minnesota, and Baltimore all have either one, they have really good quarterbacks, or Sam Darnold is just playing really well. You know, you can argue if he's a good quarterback or not. I don't care. He's 5-1. And just overall, these coaches and teams are just good. It's hard to kind of, but all 3 of them have 5 wins. But I have Baltimore at 4. I think any of these teams in the top 4 can win a Super Bowl this year. So, mix them up however you please.
Coming in at number 5, I have the Bills. I really like the Amari Cooper acquirement. They're all healthy. Josh Allen's playing good football. The defense is kind of a question mark still for me, but I still think the Bills are a top 5 team. I have them at 5.
Yeah, I have the Bills at 5 as well, at 5-2. I do agree with the defensive question mark. I think Sean McDermott can coach well enough and prepare well enough each week to keep the defense just to do enough. They don't need to look like the Steelers. They don't need to look like the Chiefs. They just need to do enough. They have Josh Allen, playing at a high level as well. Obviously, we see, 4 of the top 5 teams for me are great, quarterbacks right now. So I have the Bills at 5. I like that a lot.
I just had to switch something up. I don't know why I had this, but I just switched the Packers to number 6 and the Texans to 7. But obviously the Packers just beat the Texans on a last-second field goal. The Texans they haven't looked good since Nico Collins got hurt. Yep. I still believe in them. I still believe in Stroud. I still believe in that defense. But I have the Packers coming in at 6. Jordan Love, I kind of like the way he's playing right now. A little, like we said, a little Brett Favre in him. I think that defense is underrated. They forced some turnovers. I think they have like the best plus minus turnovers in the NFL. I like the Packers at 6.
Yeah, I actually have the same 6 and 7 as you. I have Green Bay at 6 at 5-2, and then Houston at 7 at 5-2, just because of the head-to-head win last weekend. Talking about both teams, obviously Green Bay is offensively they're good. Like they're obviously well play called, they're well schemed, and like you said, Jordan Love. I think I said earlier he's only quarterback with multiple 4 touchdown games. He's going to throw touchdowns. He might throw some interceptions too, but he's going to throw some touchdowns. I like their coaching staff, and they're a big play defense. They turn the ball over and they score off of it. again, number 7, Houston, same as you. I like them to not throw for 80 yards in a game ever again. CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback. Still have to remember that he's still very young.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to like win a Super Bowl, and I'm thinking like this guy's in his second year. They have a lot of players that are young, but defensively, I just believe that D'Amico Ryans coming from San Francisco is going to turn them into a team that's just going to dominate defensively. Maybe not this year, but eventually they got good players. They're still a top 10 team easily for me.
Yeah.
So I have them at 7.
The Eagles come back into my top 10. I really like when they're completely healthy on offense. I think they are a really good team. Saquon, I think AJ Brown, like obviously he's not underrated, but I think he's like in the upper echelon of receivers. Like he's a difference maker. He's only played in 3 games this season. They've won all 3 when he's on the field. Devontae Smith, obviously back for them. Dallas Goedert was hurt last game. He's a top 10 tight end in the league. So I think the Eagles right there at 8, I feel good about.
Yeah, I think like it's a good point. He's not underrated. I would say he's just under talked about.
Yeah.
Brown. It's kind of like AJ Green. If anybody remembers AJ Green, great receiver, nobody talked about him.
Yeah.
In my A spot, I still have Washington. I still think I will continue to say this every week. I think Washington might be the best coach team in the NFL. Just pound for pound, like what they did with a rookie quarterback, what they did with Mariota in that game. I know it's still an NFL team. You put up 40 points against anybody. That's impressive with a backup quarterback. I still have them at in the top 10. They're at 5-2. Big game against the Bears. I still think they can win it even with Mariota. That's how well coached of a team they are. And yeah, I mean, they're just a good coach football team.
Yeah. I have the Commanders coming in at 9. I agree with everything you just said. Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's like, I don't think a rookie has ever won MVP. I'm not sure, but he should be in the conversation, I think. I just like the way he plays. Mariota, I think they lose this game this week in Mariota, but they're still obviously a good team. They need Jaden Daniels to get healthy so they can stay in the top 10.
Yeah. At my 9 spot, I actually have the Steelers back in the top 10. Obviously, in my opinion, and it's not even a homer pick, but I just think we have the best defense in the league. Just at top to bottom, just players all over the place. If you guys watch that game against the Jets, you know what I'm talking about. Our rookie cornerback had 2 interceptions, 2 huge plays. We might have the best safety duo in the league. I don't even know if it's close. Yeah, just give me them at number 9 right now. If our offense starts getting going, I will actually become a believer in this team because that's been the question mark for the last 2 years. If Russ can do exactly what it's very eerily similar to Seattle. He has a great defense, a good run game. He just doesn't need to make mistakes. That's it. And we'll probably win majority of the games just like we do every year. But this is definitely arguably the best potential offense we've had since a Big Ben led team. So I got him at 9 at 5-2.
Yeah, I have your Steelers coming in at 10 as well. I like what I saw from Russ. Obviously, I agree with the Steelers. I mean, they're a top 2 defense for sure. I like the Chiefs defense a lot too. I mean, they're interchangeable. You could argue that either one is the best defense in the league. But yeah, I like the Steelers at 2. I like what I saw from Russ, and I like your point. Like he just has to not game manage, make a few plays here and there, but just give the ball to Najee and Warren and let the defense do its thing.
Yeah. At number 10, I actually have the Seahawks back at my 10 spot. They were here like 2 weeks ago before they started that kind of sloppy 3-game stretch of losses they had. But at 4-3, I like Seattle. I like their coach. Mike McDonald knows what he's doing. Geno Smith, obviously, kind of a sleeper quarterback in the league right now. So give me the Seahawks at 4-3, a big game, obviously, against Buffalo this week. I'd like to see them win that to stay in the upper echelon of teams in the league this year. So I got Seattle at 4-3.
Hey, to Seattle, let's move to college football.